Hey there and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. If you're new, make sure you subscribe before you leave, and if you're a returning subscriber, hit that little bell down below for notifications on when I put up new videos. I upload twice a week. So it is the new year. I think it's like the 4th, the day that I'm recording this, and obviously most of us have resolutions on our mind. Last year I did a New Year's resolution video and I revisited it recently just to kind of like brush myself up on what my resolutions were, and some of them I accomplished, some of them I still haven't accomplished, but they're still goals for myself. And honestly, I felt like you guys really enjoyed me sitting down and talking about what my New Year's resolutions were, so I figured I would revisit that again. It's even just something to like hold myself accountable and I guess like have a reminder of like where I was at the beginning of a year, because by the time the year ends, I forget how the new year started every single year. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a visual reminder of what my goals were and what they continue to be. If you guys want to also put your goals in the comments below, I would love that. I think it's such an interesting time of year. Start fresh, start new, and I'm not necessarily somebody who aligns with New Year's resolutions. I think any time of year is a good time of year to really like reanalyze where you are in your life and see if there's any room to grow or if there's anything that you want to accomplish. But there's something really beautiful about the start of a new year. It just always makes people feel super inspired to start something new and start something fresh, and that is really inspiring to me. But I'm not going to keep you guys waiting any longer. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get started. So before I get into this, I just quickly want to say that I know for a lot of people, like, weight loss is a huge goal. That tends to be the most common thing we're seeing. There's so many like commercials about it, and like, you know, I just find that there's so much more that you can do with yourself in your life aside from losing weight. And I'm not trying to knock anybody who wants to do that for themselves. I really don't want this to be misconstrued, but I feel like there's so many possibilities to grow that limiting yourself to just like weight loss is, I feel like, a little bit sad, or rather like there's just so many more opportunities. Not to say that I myself don't have things that like are sort of in that spectrum, but definitely something that I feel like we should do is think beyond weight loss resolutions. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So you won't see me having that resolution this time of year or any time of year. With that being said, my first resolution for myself is cook for myself more. I have sort of gotten into this really terrible habit of just having like a really long day, or just getting into these moods where I get really like, I will ignore or be distracted, and then next thing I know I'm super hungry and I need to eat, and I don't want to have to like think about making anything, so I'll just order food. And that's not, obviously that's not the best thing for me financially, it's not the best thing for me physically. So I want to make a goal to cook for myself more. I've definitely gone the route of like food subscription services, but sometimes I just end up with like rotting food in my fridge because I forget about it. It's just like this bad habit that I've developed for myself, and I really want to start cooking for myself more. Even if I'm like at least making breakfast, making dinner, and like maybe lunch, I'll have something small. But I really want to do this one so bad. I think it's like top of my list because it's something that I feel constantly like I want to be able to cook for myself more. And it doesn't help that my fridge right back there is actually super small, so it's hard to like meal prep in a lot of ways. It's hard to, you know, make a big meal and then have it in my fridge for a couple of days. So fingers crossed for me that I do that more. This is something that I mentioned last year, but it is still super prominent on my mind. I have really grown to love my life in Toronto and love my apartment, but I 100% think that I really would be so much happier if I owned my own house. I mean, honestly, most of us would be happier if we owned our own place. So for me, saving to buy a house is something that I really, really need to start focusing on more and continuing on more. And even in this same thread, it's something that just came to me, just kind of get better with like financial planning and work with an accountant more closely to figure out where I can be putting my money so that I am having X amount of dollars saved every single month and I'm being better with my money too. So I feel like that's just kind of like one big overall arching feeling for me, that I just want to start getting better with financial planning and financial saving, because it's not something that I've ever really learned. And being a self-employed person, I mean, any person really who makes money, you never, I mean, at least I'm gonna only speak for myself, I never really thought about it. I never really thought about it until I was in my 30s. And now that I'm in my 30s, I really need to get better at it because I want to buy my own house in a couple of years. I can't remember if I mentioned this last year, but it's still something that I feel super strongly. I'm just trying to find like an opening in my schedule, but I want to pick up a part-time job or a part-time hobby, something that gets me in more of a community setting. And then with that being said, this job is so amazing and so unique, but I think it is such an interesting job to have because it takes you away from what the reality is a lot of the times, like people who go to work and have to be at certain places by certain times, and it just kind of puts you into this weird alternate reality sometimes where you are not really experiencing life the way that you used to. And I don't know really how to explain myself other than since doing this full time, I've missed that sense of community that comes from having a job or, you know, picking up a part-time hobby that like gets me out of the house. And I was thinking either maybe doing like a pottery class or something or a dance class. I don't know if I would ever actually do it, but like something to move my body and whatnot would be really, really fun. Or even a part-time job. I love my job, but because it's so focused on me, sometimes I'm just like, ugh, like I don't want to think about me anymore. I want to do something that's so beyond me and I can be part of a team versus just having it always about me. I don't love that, and I don't want to live in that world 100% where it's always about me, if that makes any sense at all. I want to travel in 2020, and I want to travel to two very specific places. I'm sure I want many, many more, but I want to travel to Austin, Texas, and to Portugal. Austin has been one of those places that I've been wanting to go for years, probably like 8 to 10 years. I've been really, really wanting to go. It's not even super expensive. My friend Allie and I are kind of like looking at it as like an early winter kind of getaway, maybe like early spring kind of getaway. And then also I really, really want to go to Portugal. If you didn't know, I'm firstborn generation. Like my parents were born and raised in Portugal, and then they both immigrated to Canada. And I haven't been to Portugal since I was 11. I have a lot of family there, and I would really, really like to make that something that I do maybe in the summer, even though it's going to be so hot. But financially, I just don't see myself being able to like afford it until then. But I would absolutely love to go. I would love to see it again and see a lot of my family again, and just kind of see if anything is familiar. Like the memories that I have from when I was 11, they're just so faded. Okay, I really don't remember where I was because my card was full. Weirdly enough, it's 125 gigs. Apparently I've recorded a lot on this, but I think I was just saying that I wanted to travel more and my 2 dream destinations. So my next goal is to go out more. I feel like since moving to my own place, there has been a lot of times where I could go out, but I'm comfy. I'm in my comfy clothes already, and I have sort of gotten into this mode where I'm like, I could go out, but I could also just like stay in and watch Netflix, and it's really nice to do, but also I would really, really like to go out more, especially on weekends, go to like bars more, stuff that I was doing a little bit more when I lived in more of like the central downtown area. And even in general, the little like hood or the like little neighborhood that I live in, I so seldom get out of. And it's not that I don't like it, I love it here. It's actually really, really nice. It's kind of one of my favorite little areas of Toronto. It's just that I 100% feel like I need to get out of my little bubble a little bit more, which I've been doing already. Actually, I've been pushing myself a little bit more to do that. So that's kind of definitely a thing that I want to do more. I want to say yes to things more, and I think that I will, because since doing it a little bit more, I've realized how much I miss it. So I see myself actually accomplishing that one. And then another one of my goals is getting more organized, or honestly just getting organized in general. I kind of go through these moods where I will be super organized. I'll just basically be attached to my agenda, and then I'll just slowly start falling out of it and slowly just letting it become something I don't do. I really want to start getting back into that, because I have found myself being so disorganized with work, with my personal life in general, just by not having a planner and not being more organized in general. And I feel just like so much better about myself and so much more clear-headed when I am actually organizing myself more. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that I like have to get an agenda. Like, I know my phone has a built-in planner, and just doing that would be great too. And then it'll also help me create content a little better, get, I guess, more organized a little bit better. So that's kind of where I need to be, and I need to start that soon. It can't be something that I procrastinate on, and even not procrastinating as much anymore is something that I need to do, because in general I want 2020 to become a more strategic year for me in terms of content creation and even just what I do. I want to be setting more long-term goals, i.e. what I'm doing right now, and accomplishing them. And I do definitely know the steps on how to do that. And if you guys want me to sit down and talk about how to set goals and accomplish them, I would love to do that, because I feel like I've been pretty good at accomplishing a lot of the goals that I set for myself. So all in all, I want to be more organized. I am going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I think that those are pretty good goals for me to start with. I think it's also really important not to set too many goals, and you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And also, my battery says it's going to die. So I will see you guys next time. Again, do not forget to let me know what your New Year's resolutions are. I would absolutely love to hear them. I will see you guys next time though, so don't forget you can find new videos from me every Wednesday and every Sunday, and new blog posts every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I'll see you next time. Bye!